Hey everybody, it's Avi from JustWriteMusic.com. Today we are talking about third-party plugins. Are they worth the money? Well, that depends. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why they are, and 2 reasons why they might not be. All digital audio workstations, DAWs, often lovingly called DAWs, come with plugins and effects. Now these plugins and effects are often called stock plugins. Most of the time these are wide-ranging, utilitarian, and 100% usable, especially for the majority of us. A third-party plugin is just like our stock plugins in our DAW, except they're not made by the same developer. Man, are there a lot of third-party plugins, like a ton, too many even. The overwhelm is real. These can be anywhere from equalizers, compressors, full-on virtual instruments, tape saturator, the list goes on. It's common to see professionals use third-party plugins for a multitude of reasons. But for anyone who isn't already at the top of the industry or already an audio engineer, how do we know if we should invest in some? Well, that's what I'm here for. So I'm gonna get started with our first yes, because I wanna start things off on a positive note. Get it? Note. So the first reason why you absolutely should go and grab some third-party plugins is if you have a specific use case for it. I wanted to talk about this one first because I think it's the most important. If there's a plugin or a virtual instrument that you have a really specific use case for, you know exactly what you're gonna do with it, you know exactly how it's going to elevate your projects, go get it. Go and do that. That being said, unless it's a very specific type of software, you may not actually get all that much benefit out of it. You may just think you do. Most of the time, we can actually achieve the same sound with stock plugins that come with our DAW. It's more important, and your time is better spent working on your ears and building your skills as a producer, as an engineer, as a musician, rather than dropping money on plugins that may not actually do anything for you. There is one caveat to this, however, and that's virtual instruments. This is a great example of a specific use case. Oftentimes, if you're searching for a virtual instrument, you're probably looking for a specific one, in which case you already know what you're gonna do with it and how it's going to elevate your projects. There are amazing samples and virtual instruments out there that will 100% make your music sound better. The audio quality of your music will be better. The actual music itself won't be. Most of the virtual instruments that actually are worth the money cost a pretty penny too. Be wary of cheap alternatives that promise a lot and sound way too good for the price. You'll know it when you hear it / see it. Here's an example. A few years ago, I was writing the trailer music for a video game, an indie fantasy RPG. It's like right up my alley. I was using stock samples from Logic because that's what I had, and they sounded just okay, but I was able to make it work. I was looking at a pretty solid orchestral library, and it was pretty expensive, for me at least, but it was from a company that I had looked into in the past, and they checked out. So I took the plunge, got the orchestral library, moved all my MIDI tracks over, did some processing and some tweaking to make everything play nice, and sent it over to the audio director. No joke, I got a response in all caps saying something like,
"This is far superior than I ever could have imagined."
So to bring this back around, I had a specific use case for this orchestral library. Higher quality samples in this orchestral library was able to elevate the music, make it sound more realistic, and therefore make my audio director happier. Okay, so make sure that you have a specific use case for any third-party plugin or virtual instrument that you want to get. Next, let's tackle our first no. Don't get that third-party plugin if you just want to have it. Sometimes we want stuff. The stuff we have is old and we're bored of it. We all feel this from time to time, and that's okay. It's perfectly human to want something new and novel. That's just psychology. However, this is probably the worst reason to get something. We don't have a specific use case here, so we don't even know what we're gonna do with it. This is a great recipe for never touching that third-party plugin or virtual instrument, or maybe just touching it once or twice and letting it sit on your computer for the rest of its life, which I guess is forever. So if we don't know what we're using it for and we just want it, how are we actually supposed to know what it's gonna do for us? We don't. That's the answer, we don't. If you find yourself in this situation, I implore you to ask yourself, what exactly will this plugin or virtual instrument do for me? How will this elevate my music? How will this benefit my craft and help me grow? All right, so if you just want it, don't get it. It's probably not going to be worth it and probably won't actually help you all that much because you don't know what you're looking for. Next, let's take another look at why maybe you should jump on that third-party plugin. I permit you to go and get something, because I'm the thing that's gonna make the difference, right? Go and grab a third-party plugin if you have the budget. Now this may seem obvious, but in my country, the United States, we don't really get any budgeting or financial education unless we seek it out for ourselves. So this is weirdly more relevant than it should be. That means that maybe you think you can afford that plugin, and maybe you actually do have the money in your bank account, but maybe that's also all the money you have in your bank account. Please don't buy anything that will ever make it harder for you to live or eat. It's simply not worth the stress. You can hone your craft and get better at what you do without breaking the bank. I promise. Come back to me if you, I swear, I'll take the heat on this one for you. But if you have the disposable income, go pick it up. Go get it. Treat yourself. The key word there is disposable. Treat yourself is a real thing, and it's healthy to buy something that you think you might like for yourself. But the money has to be disposable. You have to be able to live without that cash if you're going to be doing this, especially if you're not doing it for work. That being said, if you are doing it for work, still budget for it. Please get a business savings account or a regular savings account going and start saving some cash that you can reinvest in yourself. Just be strategic and make sure you're not putting yourself in a bad spot. Okay, if you have the budget and it's not gonna kill you, go get it. Whatever, why not? Treat yourself. All right, let's look at the final reason why you should not go and get that third-party plugin. Do not enter this world if you're a beginner. If you're new to the world of making and producing music, I implore you, do not go and dive into the world of third-party plugins. Just do not do it. The fact is, you're still building your foundational skills. Figuring out what third-party plugin you should get and what use case you may have for it is actually going to just distract you from developing those foundational skills. Your time is far better spent with the stock plugins and effects that come with your DAW. And most DAWs come with quite a bit of stock plugins that you can 100% get a solid sound with. The only thing standing in your way is your own skills. That's you. That's you, pal. The more you work on your skills, the better able you'll be to even find those specific use cases so that a third-party plugin purchase actually does make sense. You know what functionality you're looking for and what you can't do with the stock plugins you already have. This also allows you to come from a more informed perspective as a consumer. This is because you'll know what you're talking about and what you're looking for. Those are kind of important. Plugins are just gear, and we don't want to get into a gear hole. More gear isn't a good thing, necessarily. This is especially true as a beginner. It doesn't make sense to go and get that FabFilter EQ when you don't know how to EQ an instrument well in the first place. Your only goal right now should be to write, produce, and finish as much music as you can using what's available to you right now. Sure, there are tons of free third-party plugins out there, but that doesn't mean that they're any good or even better than the stock plugins you already have in your DAW. In fact, there's so many of them and the quality ranges so much that it's just not worth it as a beginner to sift through it all. The overwhelm is real. Just stay out of it for a while. Take that time you would use researching these plugins and researching what the plugins even do to invest in yourself, invest in your skills as a musician and as a producer so that you know what you need when you need it. Invest in yourself. I don't know how many times I already said that in this video, but it was a lot because it's true and I'm gonna say it as many times as I need to get it across because I don't want you getting something you simply don't need. I've made that mistake in the past and it's an expensive mistake to make. My first third-party plugin was maybe the TDR Voss Slick EQ, something like that. It was a free EQ that, you know, their copy they just got me, and I was like, all right, it's free, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I actually did get some use out of it, but I haven't really used it in about 5 or 6 years now. So there you go. That's it. Those are my feelings on third-party plugins. Are they worth the money? It depends. If you have a specific use case for it, go for it. If you just want it, don't even bother. If you have the budget and you just want to treat yourself, sure, fine. If you're a beginner, just don't even go near the third-party plugin world. Just focus on yourself. Focus on your skills at the moment. Before we're even ready to start messing with EQs and compressors and the like, we have to make sure we actually have music to use those tools with in the first place. That's why I want to give you a free gift. It's my gift to you because I like you, because I think you're cool. I call it my 3-step song starter, and it'll have you doing just that. It'll have you starting songs so fast. I'm sorry, I'm breaking because it's a good deal. It's so quick, it's so easy. It's 3 steps. I've been doing this for years, and you know what? It's a little bit silly, but sometimes we have to be silly in order to get the ball rolling. Laughter is often the starting point for how we actually get things moving. We get our creative juices flowing. You know you're in a good session when you're laughing. It's short, it's simple, and it's an easy-to-read language. See, this is a jackpot. Go get it. Head to justwritemusic.com/songstarter to get your free copy. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. Tell me, what is your first experience with third-party plugins, or what third-party plugin did you think about getting before you found my video and were like, maybe I shouldn't get it? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. It's great to be here with you, because you are awesome, and I want to help you. I know you've got it in you. If you liked the video, hit that button, the thumbs up button that does the like thing. Subscribing would also be cool. Go and do that. I'm Avi from justwritemusic.com, and don't forget to be awesome.